Hey everyone, Bandit here. Of all the fan bases in the wide world of video games, the Zelda fan base tends to stand out for several reasons, one of which is the tendency for Zelda fans to wonder about what's not shown to them in the video games. This activity is also known as theorizing. For instance, take Link, the hero, the guy, my dude. Sometimes he's got a grandma, sometimes he's got an uncle, sometimes a little sister, but where are his parents, huh?
Where are they, Nintendo?
Why is Hyrule always changing? Why is there only one breed of dog in Breath of the Wild? Why are there no female Gorons? Choose one of these questions, mix in a couple of repeated symbols across the fan base, sprinkle in some similar color schemes, and garnish it with a nice little touch of what they said in the original Japanese version of the game. And that's theorizing in a nutshell. But to be honest with you, it is a lot of fun, which is why I love doing it. A lot. Probably too much. But anyway, I know good and well that the Zelda YouTube people who are on the screen are not the only types of fans that theorize about the Legend of Zelda. We all do, on the screen, off the screen, whatever. Which is why I asked you about this the other day in one of my community posts. So I thought it would be cool to talk about some of your theories for a change, to hear from some of the Zelda fan base that isn't on the screen. And I picked 5 of the most interesting, in my opinion of course, theories from the comment section of that one community post, and we're going to be talking about them in this video. Last little disclaimer here is please remember that there are definitely some duplicates of theories in the comments of that community post, but I will be crediting only the first commenter that I saw to post said theory. Oh, and be sure to leave a like on this video in support of us, the fan base that theorizes. Alright, number 1. More people reincarnate in Hyrule than simply Link, Zelda, and Ganondorf. This is a very interesting theory because like lots of things in the Zelda universe, it's just kind of there and isn't really explained. People like Impa, who appears 6 different times across 8 different Zelda games, or Beetle, who appears 5 different times across 6 different games, are examples of this fact. While we're not presently able to answer this mystery with any sort of confidence, we can definitely speculate and create our own headcanon, which can be just as fun. In my opinion, since Beetle and Impa always come back as pretty much the same individual, and since we know that ghosts and spirits exist in the land of Hyrule, and of course since we already know that the spirit of the hero reincarnates as also pretty much the same individual each time but without any memories of his past lives, I just assume that people like Beetle and Impa kind of work the same way. Whether orchestrated by the goddesses or some other power, what if there was a spirit of the merchant or a spirit of the defender, who are the spirits responsible for incarnating time and time again as Beetle and Impa? We may never know the concrete answer to this mystery for sure, but until then, this is what I'm going with. Number 2. The Zora's evolution into the Rito race was not natural, it was a product of divine intervention. Okay, so you know how the Rito who first appeared in the game Wind Waker as the race of bird people who live on Dragon Roost Island evolved from the Zora, who don't make a living appearance in the game? Well, after the gods flooded the world with water to try to stop Ganon, you know, filling the world with more water and less land, have you ever stopped to think about why that would have forced fish people to evolve into bird people? If anything, it may have forced birds to evolve back into fish since there was so much more water everywhere, and less land and trees for birds to perch on. However, this theory insinuates that because the gods flooded Hyrule to bury it beneath the sea along with Ganon and his monsters, what if the gods also forced the Zora to evolve into the Rito so that the land underneath the waves would remain untouched? Pretty interesting, isn't it? Also, wouldn't that kind of make Hyrule Atlantis? Anyway, moving on. Number 3. Zelda has to die to truly end the curse of the demon tribe. For those of you who are familiar with the story of Skyward Sword, you know all too well that at the end of the game, Demise, aka the OG Demon King, can be seen cursing the descendants of Hylia, aka all future Zeldas, and the spirit of the hero, aka all future Links, with being visited by an incarnation of Demise's hatred for the rest of eternity. Pretty harsh stuff, I know, but no matter how you slice it, according to Demise's own words, Zelda and Link are the 2 individuals who are cursed, right? Quote, "Those like you, those who share the blood of the goddess and the spirit of the hero, they are eternally bound to this curse." right? If you want to get technical, even the original Japanese text specifically states that, quote, "You people who possess the blood of the goddess and the soul of the hero shall forever be unable to escape from this curse." You people. Here, you know what? Let me write this in equation form. I'm sorry if this turns out looking horrible. If Link plus Zelda equals bad stuff, then no Link and no Zelda equals no bad stuff. Makes sense, right? And sure, Demise ultimately wants the Triforce, but he didn't curse the Triforce. He cursed its protectors, Link and Zelda. Number 4, are heart pieces or heart containers considered canon? This is kind of a funny one because it's clearly meant to be a piece of progressive gameplay. I mean, obviously. But it's a mystery that you can't exactly dismiss either, because doing so would require you to dismiss conversations and even entire characters as non-canon from within the Zelda games. Like poking holes in the games. Like Swiss cheese. Take the Skull Kids in the Lost Woods of Ocarina of Time, for instance. After Link plays their songs back to them, they reward him with a piece of heart. If pieces of heart aren't canon and therefore don't actually exist in Zelda lore, then what else would they have given him that we didn't get to see? Or did this encounter even really happen in the first place? You would think it did happen though, since the Skull Kid from Majora's Mask seems to remember Link. The same question can be raised for the pieces of heart rewarded from the fishing hole, or from the botw bowling alley, or for bringing Mama Yuya and her little puppy back. Do these people or these encounters not actually exist either? And this debate is true for all Zelda games, since pieces of heart are kind of a staple of the series. If they aren't canon, then I guess we just need to get used to seeing stuff that simply isn't real in these games. But if they are canon, then that sparks an entire other discussion about how Link's life works and why other people would even have these things in the first place. But alas, those are theories for another day. Lastly, does the mummified Ganondorf from the Breath of the Wild 2 trailer prove that Breath of the Wild takes place in the Fallen timeline? And I know that I said I took 5 theory ideas from the comment section, but actually I only took 4. This one is submitted by yours truly. The gist of it is that we know Ganondorf was killed and turned to stone in the adult timeline, right? And in the child timeline was stabbed through and completely killed as well. Even though we don't actually know what happened with old Ganondorf's body after Twilight Princess, the fact remains that he did actually die in that timeline by way of a wound that should permanently be visible on his body. The Fallen timeline is the only one that doesn't account for his physical body, only that he turned into the demon Ganon at some point prior to the events of A Link to the Past. If you look at the Ganondorf corpse in the Breath of the Wild 2 trailers, he definitely doesn't look like he's made of stone. And while lots of people claim that the place the green hand was holding him in the middle of his chest is the same spot that he was stabbed in Twilight Princess, ever since we got the new trailer that shows him standing up facing the camera, if you look at his chest, there's no stab wound, where there should be one if this really is the Ganondorf from Twilight Princess. The only possibility left would be the Fallen timeline Ganondorf, whose body we don't actually know what happened to, right? And it is also true that according to Creating a Champion, the Hylians don't record the events of Wind Waker or Twilight Princess as part of their history. They only record that Ganondorf became Ganon and then reincarnated over and over. Again, this fits perfectly within and only within the Fallen timeline, where Ganon was resurrected at least 4 times, with the 5th being prevented as a result of the adventure of Link. But of course, since there are many other factors in Breath of the Wild that have made its timeline placement notoriously debatable, this remains just my theory. And that's the video. Did you guys like these theories, your theories, or did you think that they were way off? Also, would you like to see more videos done in this format, kind of as a give and take from the community? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, be sure to like this video if you liked this video to get it spread around to other Zelda fans just like you and me. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for much more Nintendo content to come. As always, humongous thanks goes out to my Bandit crew, who are the reason I'm able to do this kind of content in the first place. Please say hello to Love Hugh, Marcelo C, Brian T, and Puzzle Girl, who all decided generously to join the ranks of my elite. If you watching are interested in getting your name up here with my crew and helping these videos come to life, please feel free to check out that join button located below any of my videos, or follow the links in the description to my Patreon and merch pages. Also down there are the links to my social media pages, so come follow me on Twitter or Instagram for all sorts of cool little nuggets of whatever the heck I'm thinking. That's all I've got in this one, so as always, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. This is Bandit, looking forward to seeing you in the next one, and signing out. Peace!